For a million different reasons, I'm in a horrible mood. All right. The GFS consistently is showing a hurricane landfall around the 9th to the 12th of June. Now, this may not happen, and the United States of America might get hit by a hurricane in June. It's best to pay attention to it. But if you post anything outside of like 5 days, you get yelled at by tons and tons of people on the internet. It's weird, you know. Anywho, and I believe if you have like 6 or 7 baby mamas and like 14 kids, that at times managing a bunch of baby mamas can be tough. And so Elon said it was his son that punched him in the face because he asked him to. But I don't know if I believe that. Venus is in Aries, so I would guess one of his baby mamas punched him. But, people yell at me because they're like, everything Elon says is always true. So don't ever doubt Elon. All right, fine. NASA has just pulled Isaacman as the head of NASA. Because they want to cut a bunch of NASA, and just like they've cut a bunch of the National Weather Service for whatever reasons, I don't know. So people are like, who will be the new administrator for NASA? And so I would guess Operation Paperclippy. Think about it. When they canceled the space shuttle in 2005 to turn it over to corporations, they knew in 2005 that Elon was going to be the richest man in 2025. That's just the way it is, man. And you ain't got to believe me, but it's good if people have different opinions on stuff I believe. When the sun acts weird, Earth weather acts weird, and people kind of lose their minds. We had an M-class solar flare that is halo-ish and is Earth directed and is going to cause a pretty serious solar storm Sunday and Monday, or so they say. Another reason I'm stressed out is because, part of Elon and Trump's guarantee that, look, when we first get elected, we're all going to go through a period of hardship. So I'm going through a period of hardship. I'm having some financial struggles. My fundraiser's not doing too great. So if you'd like to contribute, I got a PayPal and a Venmo. But hopefully I'll survive either way. Taylor Swift bought her masters back. I just thought you should know. Earth is smoking just like a dragon. But no matter what, I think this is going to be one of the wildest and weirdest hurricane seasons ever. Will it start in June? Will it start in July? Will it start in August? I don't know. But I know that we're really not prepared for it that well. But I don't live on the coast, so I guess I shouldn't worry about it as much. I try to give you guys excellent information as best I can. I started covering hurricanes on YouTube in 2013. Gave a 10-day plus warning on Hurricane Matthew in 2016. 10-day plus warning on Hurricane Harvey in 2017. And 10-day plus warning on Hurricane Maria in 2017. And I feel like I've done an excellent job. But whatever. Waters are warm enough for a hurricane. Who's going to get auroras from the big solar storm? I don't know. We'll have to stay tuned. And a reminder, I've been providing top shelf sun and space weather coverage since 2012. And from 2015 to 2020, when like 99% of all people were telling you that we're going into a grand solar minimum or like a very weak solar maximum, I was the only one who was like, nah, that's not true. And it turns out I was totally correct. Yeah, shit's fucked up all over. Scientists have just determined that our Earth has a heartbeat, which is what I've been saying for 10 years. And I've been calling it the pulse. It's like the heartbeat of Earth. Ooh. Note to self, when I'm done with this video, listen to Kelly Clarkson's heartbeat song. It will probably cheer me up a little. But yeah, the GFS, which is known to have early season biases, is saying we're definitely getting some type of development in the Gulf around the 9th. And the Euro's like, probably not, but we can't rule it out. And, we haven't had a June hurricane in the Gulf since 1986. But there was a period in history where you had a bunch of hurricanes in June hit the United States. I would guess a lot of that shit has to do with planetary alignment. 99% of people disagree with me. That's fine. It's weird. In a quote unquote, everybody's saving free speech environment, man, you sure as hell get gang stalked if you hold an opinion other than Elon and Trump's or the Democrats. Although I say the Democrats, but there's no Democrats anymore. They've pretty much been absolutely demolished. And that's just the way it is. So for us people who don't believe in either political party or politicians and don't trust billionaires, it's a weird road right now. Let me tell you. Anywho, shit could get better in 5 days when Venus goes into Taurus. And it could get better in 9 days when Jupiter leaves Gemini, its least favorite place to be other than Scorpio, and there's Cancer, a place it loves. So I'm hanging on until then. I hope you're doing the same. And Venus just ran a crazy gauntlet where she passed Saturn, she passed Neptune, she passed Ceres, she passed Aries, and now she's about to pass Chiron tomorrow. So she's in a bad, bad, bad mood, man. And Jupiter's been doing a lot of the planetary optimistic sense of humor, heavy lifting for God knows how long. And then you have the empathy state of, the like 50% of married Americans who got divorced and had kids. Like they then get into some ritual fighting ceremony that happens around June. They got to figure out all the summer plans. Y'all try and be nice to each other. But yeah, we got severe storms coming, solar wise. Yeah, it's the Euro ensemble. And it shows, and I'm telling you, Texas, so even if I'm not covering for everybody else, I'll always cover for Texas. Texas is my home, dude. Texans treat me amazing, all the time. So yeah, Texas. Well, I got a bad feeling about June. I could be totally wrong, but it's best to be prepared, right? Because like 50% of all the hurricanes that have hit from like 1820 to now all hit Texas. So I'm saying, watch, and if a hurricane doesn't hit us in June, it's a reason to celebrate. It's no big deal, right? But if we get hit by a hurricane and we weren't prepared, that's a problem. And it's my opinion that canceling the space shuttle and just saying, like, yeah, we're going to give our national space program over to the corporations, to like Microsoft and Tesla. I mean, that was a bad idea. And they did it in 2005. Remember that they had to get rid of rock and roll so that people would accept cryptocurrency. And, if you needed people Oh my God. There's a reason that like social networking has been geared to get people to hate NASA. You know, or maybe you don't. That's fine. But like cutting NASA and cutting the National Weather Service, cutting, a bunch of smoke if you got them. And then, oh yeah, and then Texas had legalized some THC products. I don't know if you knew that. And then our was it Dan Paxton? He then passed a bill illegalizing all those THC and CBD products, I believe. And so, Joe Rogan, who moved to Texas, and Elon, who moved to Texas, they're all about free speech. Elon even went on a Joe Rogan show and smoked a blunt, which is weed, marijuana, THC. And for all those fucking podcasts, man, you don't see Joe Rogan being like, hey, man, the Bible said in Genesis, I, God, give you all green seed bearing plants. You don't hear Elon and Joe sticking up for the freedom of Texans, which is really, really weird. I mean, Joe's a libertarian. Uh, I guess he's too busy having billionaires on, to fucking A, man. But yeah, so Trump pulling Isaac Isaacman, source saying NASA's fucked. And honestly, focusing on Mars and not the moon is one of the dumbest shit I ever heard. And then people are always like, Elon's taking us to Mars. Well, all we ever see is rockets. When do we see the designs for the houses that people are going to live in? Where do we see designs for how they're going to have food? Where do we see designs for their oxygen systems? Where do we see designs for their shit disposal systems? That, like, how come Elon hasn't built a telescope? That, like, if you're going to put 100 or humans on 20 rockets, don't you need some type of navigation system so you don't get hit by asteroids? That, I don't know, the idea of like somehow when they're like America first, oh yeah, let's spend trillions of dollars and go into fucking Mars, a dead ass planet. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. That it's so dumb, dude. So dumb. I feel like you're gullible if you really think we're gonna go to Mars with the technology we have. You, we, the human has never even been past the moon. What makes you think a human can get into a fucking rocket for 6 months traveling at zillions of miles an hour, land, and this is all going to happen in the next 10 years? Elon's my age. He's 53. And I always say, I can't think of a single 60-year-old, 70-year-old man who'd want to spend their life on Mars. Would you want to be on Earth with $1 billion or $500 billion, whatever he has? Where you got oceans and lakes and rivers and as many beautiful women and food and all this shit you can do. You got healthcare. What do you got on Mars? You ain't got jack shit. So the idea that somehow he's going to spend his 70s on Mars, dude, I ain't buying it. And this is going to be the first year of the Gulf of America. And this is going to be the first year that we are in a invisible hand of the cryptocurrency free market system during hurricane season. You should really let that sink in, man. And remember, at the end of the day, it is each individual's responsibility to not get hit by a hurricane, to not get hit by floods, to not get hit by tornadoes. That's just the way it is. We've been seeing a lot of 6 and 7 earthquakes popping off. What type of earthquakes will we get in the next 7 days? I don't know. I stay optimistic 98% of the time. Today is the day I'm not optimistic. I know, but it's kind of fun. It's changing pace. Another thing, what type of rights will women have on Mars? Like if all the people who are building it are billionaire or trillionaire dudes, I mean, are they going to have some type of harem union? You know, it's it's just a question. I mean, or even dudes like is everyone gonna have equal rights? Who's gonna pay their health care on Mars? Who's gonna pay? I don't know, dude. Like none of the shit has been worked out for Mars, other than the rocket. And technically, the rocket isn't 100% working yet. The one there, the one that just exploded the other day. And somehow, if they really believe that artificial intelligence is going to lay off billions of people, and they don't roll out a UBI plan, then they technically don't have a plan for the billions of people they're going to lay off, which would be a bad scene, man. All right. God bless everyone. Stay cool. Cheer me up if you can. I'd appreciate it. Thanks. God bless everyone.